Mrs. Johnson.
Yes.
I'm Detective Mills. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Okay.
So, tell us what happened last night.
Well, I was making Darren dinner and he was watching TV in the conservatory. We got into a dispute and then I went to bed.
What was the dispute about?
Just silly things, really.
Do you know if anyone else came into the house last night?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Do you know why anyone would want to hurt your husband?
No. Everyone loved Darren. He was always happy. Lifted everyone's spirits.
Did you see him after you went to bed?
No, I was fast asleep.
So you didn't hear anything?
No.
I don't believe that. How could you possibly not hear your husband being killed in the middle of the night?
I suffer from insomnia, so I take pills to help me sleep.
Our forensics say there was no sign of any pills in the house.
I don't understand. I took them before I went to bed last night.
Our forensics team found a bloody knife on your bedside table, with your fingerprints on it.
It's my kitchen. My fingerprints are on all the knives. I cook for Darren every night. I didn't do anything.
Why are you so nervous, Mrs. Johnson?
My husband just died, for goodness sake. I don't know what to think or feel.
How would you describe your relationship with Darren?
Well, we married young. I guess that was part of the problem with us. He was such a kind and sweet man when I first met him. He knew how to make me laugh. But, that began to fade.
Were you and Darren having problems?
You could say that. He could be one cruel and selfish man when he wanted to be. I had divorce papers in my drawer. I was thinking of leaving him, but I never thought it would end this way.
Any little incident can make a murderer snap, Mrs. Johnson. Are you sure you're telling us the whole truth?
Of course I am. Do you really think I'd kill my own husband, Detective?
Look, Mrs. Johnson, it wouldn't be the first time this has happened. And the way you're reacting looks very suspicious. If you confess what you're not telling us right now, your future will be a lot brighter than if you don't.
I didn't do anything.
Have you ever heard of homicidal sleepwalking, Mrs. Johnson?
No, I don't believe I have.
They're also known as sleepwalk murder cases. This is when someone kills a victim whilst sleepwalking and having no recollection of it the next day. And we can see from your medical history that you used to visit a sleep clinic because of your sleepwalking. Is this true?
Yes, but it was a long time ago.
I know this is hard to believe, Mrs. Johnson, but in most homicidal sleepwalking cases, the suspect usually has an unconscious motive for the killing. Did you have a motive, Mrs. Johnson?
I didn't do it! At least, I don't think it...
Mrs. Johnson, I think you despised your husband and wanted an easy way out.
No, I didn't do it!
Mrs. Johnson, confess now and we'll be in a nice, safer place when we're done. This is the right thing to do, Mrs. Johnson. The judge will be kinder to you. He'll make sure you're convicted to a nice, safe prison.
I have this weird, overwhelming feeling that I did it, but I don't know for sure.
It's okay, Mrs. Johnson.
Why do I feel this way?
It's okay, Mrs. Johnson. Just tell us why you did it.
Stop asking me questions I can't answer for you. I don't remember.
There's two ways this can end. One leads to punishment. The other if you feel remorse, can lead to us helping you and getting you better.
You keep saying that I did it.
I feel like there may be a different Fiona inside of you, Mrs. Johnson. One you don't even know about. Confess, Mrs. Johnson.
I grabbed the knife in my sleep and I stabbed my husband.
Mrs. Johnson, I'm afraid I'm going to have to arrest you for murder. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.